I watch a lot of horror movies, demons, ghosts, possessions, haunted houses. None of it usually gets to me, but every now and then I watch some things that give me genuine goosebumps. Not because it's scripted, not because it's a movie, but because it's real. Tonight I'm sitting down with two paranormal investigators from here in Australia. No jump scares, no Hollywood bullshit, just real people and real locations and things that shouldn't be answering back.
Yes, it's me.
Holy damn!
This is an interview you're not going to want to miss. This is real. This is the Afterlife Party.
There was like a step.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to this special episode today on Blood Popcorn. I've got the Afterlife Party, real-life paranormal investigators from Perth, Western Australia. Jason and Kat, thanks so much for coming on the channel. I'm looking forward to asking you a few little questions about the paranormal. Thank you for coming on, guys.
No worries. Thanks for having us,
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Bloody oath. I found you guys on YouTube, and out of all the paranormal channels, I just found you guys so legit. I binge watched so much of your content, and I love it. I was watching Paranormal Activity, and then it made me want to search for this stuff, and then I found you guys, so I love it. But I'm going to get straight into it, guys. I want to know, first question, I need to know how you guys got started on this channel project. How did this all start?
It's funny because, like, before we knew each other, we kind of had our own kind of dipped our toes into paranormal investigating in the world of the paranormal. Myself, I've been, from when my grandpa first passed away over in Scotland. And keep in mind, me and my mum kind of watched a couple of shows when I was growing up. She was interested in this, I had an interest in this, but we'd kind of be up late every now and again and watch like an episode of Most Haunted, which is like the UK's one.
Yep.
But it wasn't until my grandpa passed away over in Scotland, and I didn't get back over for the funeral. Not good financially that time. But it wasn't until like 2 weeks later, and I couldn't stop thinking. I was like, it was one of my biggest regrets I've ever done. It's like, I should have gone over there. I kind of idolized him when I was growing up, so it was kind of like, man, why didn't I? And every night I'd go to bed and I'd think about it, and I'd play it over in my head. And then one night, as I was laying there by myself, I felt like someone had sat on the end of my bed. Like, you feel the springs go down in like the mattress. And I was like, whoa, what the? And it's like, felt like someone had sat on the end of my bed. And in that moment, as crazy as I thought, I said my goodbyes, like, out loud.
Yep.
And then it lifted. And it's like it left the room. And I was like, that was weird. But couldn't say whether or not it was him, but for me it was like, okay, I've had my kind of moment to say goodbye. And I remember speaking to my brother the next day, and I was like, I felt like something was in my room last night and sat on my bed. And he was like, no way. He goes, I felt like someone sat on my mattress too. And I was like, okay. We didn't say who we thought it was or anything like that. But it's kind of because of that I wanted to know more. And I already had the interest in watching a couple of shows, found some others, because of Most Haunted, found David Wells, ended up investigating with David Wells over in Fremantle, which was awesome. And from then on, did a couple of just investigations with a couple of people going out, got a bit of gear, and was just like, diving into this and streaming on Twitch. And my housemate at the time, Michael and Kana, which funny enough ended up becoming the very first video on our channel, completely by accident.
Yep.
We didn't exist at all then. And I was just going to do a bit of in real life content for the streaming platform. Went out there and had a night vision camera, a couple of pieces of equipment, and just a bit of fun going out there. And had a bit of a night of it, and no intent to make a paranormal channel. It was just a fun video for that. And I then ended up meeting this one.
Yeah. And you'll notice that the View Tunnel video is the only video on the channel that I'm not in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the very first one.
And it's because I didn't even know Kat when we filmed that.
Yeah.
But I'll get to you go for yours, because then it kind of merges in.
Yeah. So for me, I think I loved horror movies too much, which was probably my first interest in, I guess, the paranormal and just all things kind of dark and spooky. But from there, I found Ghost Adventures of all shows as a sort of teenager and young adult. And so that for me was just really cool because it was real life. But reflecting back on Ghost Adventures now, I've got a whole lot of thoughts around that, but I won't go down that rabbit hole. It did, though, for me, just really bring up the fact that if I haven't seen it myself, it's not real.
Yep.
And I'd had some paranormal experiences, but I never even really trusted myself in them. And even though I know that, I've seen things that just don't make any sense, I needed to know more. So that sort of led me to get some equipment myself and give it a go just very casually until I met Jason, and he also had some gear. And
just a throwaway comment. When we met, and it was just like, oh yeah, I had some paranormal gear or something. Did I talk about the evidence we captured that night at Swampy Tunnel? I don't know.
I don't remember.
It's probably streaming on Twitch, and I was putting it in real life content together, and I mentioned it, and Kat was like, no way, I'm interested too. And I was like, wait a second, what? How have we not spoken about this?
Yeah. And so when we were both in share housing at the time, and so with my housemates, I think they overheard us talking about something and went, if you guys are into that stuff, there's a place that we would love for you to investigate. And that's what took us to the Olive Estate. So the Olive Estate was actually family owned by my housemates, and that's how we got there. And it just turned out to be the most crazy night, way more than we ever expected, being just a little nothing location that no one's ever heard of.
And the weird thing is, I'd just been to America as well, so I got a proper 4K vlogging camera to take away with me. So we had a decent camera, and we had a night vision camera, and we had some gear, and we were like, you know what, let's go. So Michael, who was at Swampy Tunnel, came. Kana wasn't available that night, so we ended up taking Michael's cousin Shane as the four of us. And we went there and just filmed to document what we got. Now, keep in mind, Afterlife Party didn't exist. We didn't have a channel. We had no thought of a channel.
Vlogging camera, a haunted location, and 3 people with ADHD who didn't know how to film. Who had never filmed before.
And we were like, what? Yeah. So off we went, and because of that, it birthed the Afterlife Party. So, yeah.
That's so good, because you already basically had a little mini starter pack. A little starter pack all ready to roll. Yeah.
Pretty much so.
That's so good, because that actually gets me to kind of what I'm so interested in with it is the equipment and the process part of it. And getting all that stuff together must have been a nightmare, but learning as well, learning about everything. But the first thing, my favorite thing on all the episodes is the spirit talker. I need to know, everyone watching needs to know, how does this spirit talker work? Because you always explain, and it's great, every episode you always explain there's no Wi-Fi, it's on aeroplane mode, and there's no SIM card. That's the only gist I can get from it.
Yeah, it's funny because, obviously your phone app, even we use it on our investigations for sure, and we are still on the fence with it. And that's the coolest thing. It's we're not completely for it, we're not completely against it. We've had some insane accuracies at locations that there's just no way it could spit out. And we use Spirit Talker for a reason, and Kat can explain it better than I can. But the fact is, we do use it, but we are still skeptical at certain times as well.
Oh, I love it. It's got some good answers. Some episodes have had some creepy answers, but please, Kat, explain it. So
the Spirit Talker, basically it uses all of the sensors of the phone. So you've got like, you know, your phone's got an inbuilt magnetometer, gyro, accelerometer. If your temperature does like, you know, air pressure and things like that, if your phone has those sensors, then it will use them all. And how it works essentially is that it has a database of words built into the app, and each of those words has corresponding inputs to pull up that word. And it's based on the early Ovilus, which are still around. We have an Ovilus 5 now. But the Ovilus was developed by by Bill Chappell of...
Well, it was his own. It was his own thing.
I've got a thing now. Yeah.
He's
so
now
by
with
Bill
Ghost
Chappell,
Stop now.
With Ghost Stop. Yeah.
Yeah, with Ghost Stop now.
He actually developed equipment for Ghost Adventures.
Okay.
Strangely enough, lots of cool stuff came out of that. But it's based on that, which uses like EMF to pull words out of a database. But what the Spirit Talker can do, it has a way bigger database. It has so many more words, and it uses more sensors. What's controversial, of course, is that people just kind of go, well, can't it just be, you know, is it just a random word generator? Or, you know, like, is it listening to everything that you're saying and just giving you words that are appropriate? Or is it just, you know, it's always just going to spit out spooky words because it's designed for entertainment, essentially? We try to eliminate as much of the possibility of those things being the case as possible. And that's why we use it on airplane mode. So it has no idea. So like the location data is turned off on it. So it doesn't know where we are.
It can't even use it. It's got nothing to it.
It can't be using any AI. It doesn't even have any other apps that could potentially influence, you know, like how you've got your phone stores like data in it, stuff like that, and track what you've been Googling, what you've been looking up or whatever.
There's a complete reset phone with Spirit Talker, and that's
so it can't be doing any of that. And it just, the way that we use it is probably a bit over the top in terms of like trying to make sure that nothing else can be influencing it, but I like to eliminate all the other sort of factors. And that's pretty much how it works.
And we chose Spirit Talker as well because it is the one application that does not run like microphone permissions and all that in the background. Yeah. Because that was one thing that we did with kind of your phone apps, is going through the list of ones that secretly do. And we installed a few of them.
We did.
And tested which ones are using your phone's permissions without actually making you aware. And we landed on Spirit Talker as it doesn't. So
it obviously needs some permissions just to access your phone sensors, but it doesn't need microphone permissions. It operates without any internet, which is, some of them actually require data to work. And I'm like, well, that's a bit of a red flag for me. And from there I still find it hard to believe, because realistically, when you think about it, like, that sounds incredibly complicated to me, to try and work out how to manipulate a phone's sensors and inputs and all of that.
How to do that?
Try and pull a certain word out of a database. Like, it seems so unrealistic.
I love those parts of the episodes, because some of the things that it comes out with, I spin out watching it going, how did it, like, you couldn't even tell it that. Some of the words you don't even know, and you have to look it up afterwards.
I mean, the fact that we're in Pinjarra, right, and we know Pinjarra's dark history for those playing art.
Yes.
For Beck and I to get, you should dig here, right on the ground, stone's throw. And then we asked, why should we dig here? Like, why should we dig right here? And I said, there are bodies below, was the follow-up answer to our question. And that is, like, right on the nose. Like, very highly probable. But also in locations, I don't know if you've picked this up we never outright say names.
No, I noticed that. You've never said names.
We let that information come to us, because if we're not saying it out loud, just to take any skepticism, off the table, we could go out there and say names out loud, and if our Spirit Talker is recording our microphone, well, he could just spit the names right back at us. So we all know our research of the place. We do our research before we go. All the investigators, no names, no dates, no locations, but we all purposely avoid saying any of that information because we want that to come to us.
Yeah.
So when the device is spitting that out, then
I will clarify for anyone that's watching and does go watch your episodes, you do introduce yourself to the spirits before you turn the phone on.
Yes, it's all done before any equipment goes on.
Before it goes on, just in case someone watches this and goes, "No, you said your name." No, it's before the phone goes on. I've even noticed that watching that. I think didn't it? There was a few episodes back. It called you attractive, Jason.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, one of them it said your hair, and I jokingly looked at the camera, and I was by myself, and I was like, I am having a really good hair day today. And then the spirit talker went, ha ha ha, back at me. And I was like, right.
It's so good. That leads me to my next question about the spirit talker, though.
Yeah.
Can the spirit get confused if there's too many people asking too many questions at once? Like, will you get nothing if there's just too much?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. In fact, one of the investigations that I rewatched recently was at Sunset Hospital. And I realized that I was getting some answers through, and it's just such a good example of this, where I was getting some answers through, but I think I got a bit excited and I asked like a question, then I asked another question, and then I asked another question. Yeah. And then I think that the spirit talker actually came through and said like, I'm confused or something like that. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry to confuse you. Did I just ask too many questions all at once?
But it's also on our side as well. Like, we might have multiple conversations going. So, like, you know, we have some answers that are, like, on track to a question we asked, but we feel like another spirit has come through and they're trying to tell us something. So sometimes it's like you have to try and focus whether or not it's the same one talking, or you've got multiple people using a device and trying to put different stories together at exactly the same time. Because sometimes there's, like, two stories that are matching up, but the conversation's happening at the same time. And you're like, these aren't related, but these are the same people that have relevant stuff.
And sometimes there'll be like sometimes a spirit can answer a question just immediately. Sometimes there's a delay. And so if we start asking a lot of questions and having multiple conversations, then we don't even know what they're answering anymore. It's like, because they could be answering something that I asked, you know, like there could be a minute or so delay. And if we've moved on to a whole bunch of other things, it gets really confusing for us and them, I think.
Yeah.
And they could have walked off. They could have walked off into another room. And that's what gets me to my next
given up.
Given up. And I've seen on one of your episodes, and this is the next one that I want you guys to explain and elaborate on, the REM pod. Now, I've seen where you've asked a question. I know you would have noticed it, but you haven't said it in the videos. You've asked a question, and then suddenly near the doorway, the REM pod goes off. Is that the spirit walking away? Had enough of you guys, or is there another one coming in? Can you even explain the REM pod to everyone watching with the little antenna and that?
Well, the REM pod is its own EM pump. It's an electromagnetic pump, or it's like an EM pump. So it's supposedly spirits can use that energy to give them a bit of a boost or a charge up, essentially.
That's it. So spirits work, I think, with the spirit talker as well. I didn't quite explain the reason that we think spirits can do this is because, you know, like we feel cold spots, or, you know, they say that spirits are attached with different kinds of energies that can manipulate, like, you know, changes in temperature and changes in EMF is a big one. And so the REM pod actually puts out its own little EMF field around that antenna. And then it goes off when anything conductive or another electromagnetic field intersects with it and interferes with it. But the fact that it puts out its own little electromagnetic field means that, like, if spirits need that kind of energy, if that's how they work, which is a common theory, then they can actually go in there and take some of that energy to use then to communicate with us in other ways.
Yeah.
It also alerts us to the fact that they're there, which is awesome. So is it them walking away? They might be going over there to get more energy.
Who knows?
There's actually one that I can't talk about the location because I'm actually editing it at the moment. And it's a perfect example with the REM pod because it was alluding to losing energy. And we said, well, we have a piece of equipment that can potentially give you that energy. And we spoke about the REM pod, put it out, and it bleeped on cue. So it's interesting that You said like, and that was between two investigators as well. And the fact that we said you can use that to get some energy, it actually immediately, and I mean within 30 seconds, straight over and set it off. And that's kind of crazy because it's like, once again, they understanding that, and funny enough, communication ramped back up. So
interestingly, with the REM pod as well, it doesn't get used as often as we would have thought sometimes. Like, there's a lot of times where the REM pod doesn't get used. And so it makes me wonder, does that field that it puts out, like, does it look scary or intimidating to them? We can't see an electromagnetic field at all.
Yeah,
but we don't know what things look like in the spirit realm. And so it's like, does this little ball of energy actually seem quite scary or intimidating to come and walk into, to draw from? I don't know. Like, it's weird.
I do love how with every device, you don't just explain it to the camera for the episode, you're explaining it to, if there is any spirit at the present in that room, how they can use it and all that as well, which is fantastic. It does look like a little radio though, the REM pod. With the antenna and that. Makes a pretty damn loud sound as well. So you know when that one goes off, but the one that's silent, that you don't know if it goes off or not. And I know Jason's caught on multiple cameras in videos where you've watched footage where no one's in the room, and it's the cat ball. Can you explain a little bit more about the cat balls? I love it when they go off. It's awesome. Is that something that you actually invented, the cat ball?
Nope.
I've got one there. I was going to say, I thought there was one up there as well behind us.
But no, we it's funny, we got them sitting on the desk here. There you go, it's going off. Why we love them is because they're actually not a piece of paranormal equipment. They are literally a toy for cats.
They are commonly used though in the paranormal field. They were already used there before we came across them.
Yeah, it's not an us thing.
But since then I've drawn on that concept, and we do have other bits and pieces that are everyday items or toys that we use.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed, you've watched the channel, Robs, and people playing home. You might see Chirpy and Chirpette and Boo sitting behind us.
I see Boo.
Once again, they are pieces of just toys and stuff that, you know, people can go, oh yeah, we got all these, you know, electronical devices and this, and they can be manipulated to do blah, 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 etc., etc. When these go, they need to be physically moved or touched. And those guys, if they're sent flying, they need to be physically moved or touched. So you're ruling out all the skeptics of, okay, they can't be manipulated in any other way apart from maybe being on a fishing wire and pulled. But our infrared cameras are going to clearly pick that up. So it's taking the skepticism away and thinking right outside the box with what other things can we use that can't be manipulated. And then we end up on some of them. And that's why we love them and use them.
Absolutely. Especially that episode, and you got one on the staircase, and you aren't even in that room, and it's constantly like going off, like, and then you come in the room, and
is that at Vancouver Art Centre?
That's the possession one.
Yes.
That cat ball was like, the cat balls there were crazy.
It was drawing us to that staircase 110%.
It was drawing us. But you had another one in the room where you were at, near the doorway as well, that kept on going off now and then as well. So that was pretty cool. So I guess it was drawing us towards the staircase. Actually, you had one up the top as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we had it up the bottom, on the floor, and on the stairs.
And when we came out of that room that we were investigating in, the one in the hallway, it turns out, had been going off the whole time, and it made sure to do it like in the hallway in front of the staircase. Then when we were coming back, it was like the one on the staircase as well, and it was like, you just want us on this staircase, which we later on found out why.
It lured you.
We were absolutely lured there.
And looking back, all the communication saying we need power, we're like, you know, is that the devices? But I think they wanted more than just devices that night. But
100%. I'm going to put the link of that particular video in the link down the bottom for everyone, because if that's one video you got to watch first, you got to watch that one.
We could talk about that one forever.
Oh yeah,
God,
I love that one. Has a Capel ever rolled?
Yes.
Yes.
Igna. On the piano, it was being moved.
Yeah, it wasn't like rolling along.
It wasn't rolling along.
But you could see it
physically moving.
Have we had one ever just get actually like rolled across the floor? I think we have. Where?
No, we haven't.
We haven't?
Some maybe have moved the roundhouse on the flooring, potentially. They didn't look like they're in the same positions, but they're on static cameras, so you can't really see how far they've gone. I rolled one as a bit of a joke to see if someone would roll it back, and then Spirit Talker came back and said, "Is this a ritual?" And I was like, "No, this is not something we normally do." But that was me rolling it, but not fully like at speed or at force or anything like that. But we have seen them physically move. We've actually now got stands for them as well. So if there is surfaces that could make a move, we can now sturdy them.
Sometimes people say, "Oh, it was the wind," or "Oh, it was something like that." So we've got little stands for them now.
True. I saw you rolling it in one episode in the little girls' room where there was a cot in that, and you're rolling it, and I'm like, if that rolls back, I would run the hell out of there, man. Like, that room was really creepy as it was.
That was like all the dolls in the upstairs at Woodlow's, right?
No, it was across. It was in Perth, I think. It was across the road from a pub. I don't know the name of it. It was in a small little room. One of your middle lot of videos. But I'm pretty sure there was like a pub across the road, and it was a daytime. You guys were filming it, and it was an interesting one.
It was Kalamunda History Village.
Kalamunda History Village.
Yeah, in one of the two residences there.
Yes.
There was I was down on the floor.
McCullers.
And
I think it was McCullers Cottage.
Because it's really good having things that are like toys is great for child spirits, because you can literally get down to their level and be like, hey, let's play. You know, they don't want to talk about what year they were born or when they died or their first and last name. They just want somebody to talk to, or like somebody to play with. So that was so it's always good fun actually to do that. Yeah.
I'd freak out if it rolled back.
If it rolled back, to be honest, I probably would have been a little. Probably would have turned and be like.
I would be sitting there confused. That the fuck did that just happen? Like, what the hell's going on?
I don't get scared of anything. I watch all horror movies. Roll back, and I'm like, I'll be out of here. The dead bell. I'm dying to know about the dead bell and how that works. The ding ding. Come on. You haven't seen, I'm not going to give away the ending of the last or any of the last episode that you guys put up, but man, this dead bell, I love it. I haven't heard it go off as much as this last episode.
I love the dead bell.
The dead bell, we love the dead bell. We were contemplating on even getting the dead bell. Like, you weren't for the dead bell when I initially found it. I wanted to get it because you were just like, well, it's
just another EMF
It's just
meter.
another EMF meter.
But it isn't, it turns out.
But it isn't. But Kat was like, what do we, we don't need just another one. We've got the REM pod or we've got something else.
Yeah.
We were going to the 2J Bakery. And not only is it different from other just EMF kind of devices, it's a trigger object in a way as well, because in a bakery, it's a service bell. What do you ring for service? So, but yeah, why is it different? It's,
it's different to a regular EMF meter because this is a little bit of a sidetrack, but you'll notice that in most of our videos, we don't use your standard EMF meter to investigate with. And there's really good reasons for that. Most locations with power on, those EMF meters, they're designed to pick up any electronics or
is that
any
the one
EMF
that goes
fluctuations.
through the radio? The one that goes digga 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 digga.
No, it's the one that pumps the green lights up to red. It goes like green, yellow, red, and people walk around.
Really classic piece of like ghost hunting equipment, I guess. And it's always associated with it is that EMF meter. We don't use one very often because they're just so sensitive. They pick up all kinds of EMF fluctuations, and there's just everything in our built environment can interfere with them. So this one though, the dead bell actually, although it works with EMF, it is more of a magnetometer, so it works just on the magnetic spectrum. And so there's a lot less things that would potentially interfere with it, which means that we can use it in a lot more locations. So we can use it indoors and stuff, knowing that, you know, your Wi-Fi isn't going to set it off and things like that, which is really, really cool. And it just scares the crap out of you when it dings all the time.
Yeah, because we tested it. We tested it as well at the bakery. It was above fridges. It was where like the till is and the computer is, and we sign in, and we can adjust the sensor on that as well, which is even better, because if we need to, if something is interfering with it, we can turn it down. So
some things will.
Some things can, but we left it there at the bakery while we were setting up for like an hour and 10 minutes, and it didn't ding at all. So we were like, perfect in its environment. It's great. Did it go off there? Yes, it did, but it wasn't anything interrupting it because it was never shifted, and it didn't, like, by the time we started recording, it went for around, that thing was sitting on that counter for about 2 hours before it actually went.
And it was dead silent.
It was dead silent the whole time.
Yeah.
So
I do notice it goes off a bit if you put it outside the front door or on a ledge on the, if there's near a letterbox. You've never put it near a letterbox, but, you know, when there's walls near the front doors and all that, you leave it outside, and then you are inside and you hear it ding, ding. Is that, do we want to come inside?
I mean, I hadn't thought of it that way, but it could be, actually. Just using it like a doorbell.
That's me personally watching, I'm always like, oh, they're dinging, they want to come inside.
Well, it's great. Cool. It's great as well, because as you just saw, like our first episode of the Patrick Taylor and Pointing Lighthouse, like return, like we went to 2 different locations, so we had to split up gear. So, which means that half our camera rigs don't get the full location, because we got 2 locations we need to rig up.
Divide our cameras.
We've got to divide our cameras, our gear. So it's a great piece of equipment to also draw you to a location, because it's audible. It's
audible.
So you can hear something going on in a different place, you know, to kind of be like, okay, we can then kind of move our investigation and go to this point of interest. So it works in that way as well, which makes it even better. But it's had many uses, and to be honest, we've got a couple of new pieces of equipment as well that haven't made it onto the channel yet, because we filmed with them at the end half of last year. But Dead Bell is up there. We really love that thing now, because it scares the absolute shit out of all our team as well. So it makes it even better. Poor Kim has lost multiple pairs of underwear due to Dead Bell.
Me sitting in the cell at the Albany convict jail with that like creepy witch mannequin behind me. I have no idea what that has to do with the jail's history. Nothing, really. But sitting in there on my own with just this bell, and every single time it went off, I jumped. Like, it didn't matter whether it was the first time or the 15th time, I jumped, and you see it physically on camera.
What makes it more impressive, that bell, though? Yeah.
Well, especially when you're in an enclosed space on your own and in the dark, and you don't know when it's going to happen.
What makes that more impressive? Kat had 2 devices in there, the Spirit Talker and the Dead Bell. And the Spirit Talker said, explain the equipment. And she'd already explained Spirit Talker. So she proceeded to then talk about the bell, and was like, okay, this is it, this is how it can be used. And then it went off. Straight away.
After I explained
and I was like, it asked you to and then straight away she was like, oh, did you just ring the bell? And Spirit Talker then proceeded to say, show. And I said, they just asked how it worked. You explained it. They set it off, and then they told you, show, to show that they had actually listened and used it. And you were like, hang on a second. Yeah, that's very on point. And it happened all within like a minute and 30 seconds. Like, it's just like, what is going on?
So cool.
They're listening to you.
Some of the spirit interactions we've had are so intelligent. It's like, you know, sometimes you think, is it residual energy? Is this, is that? Then when you realize you're having a full-blown back-and-forth conversation and they're actually understanding what you're saying and what's happening, it's like, that's on another level, man. That's like
some of the stuff that we get, it's almost like you couldn't write this.
No.
Like, you know, you couldn't write it. of all of the stuff that you see on paranormal shows or movies or whatever,
Yeah.
compared to the actual real thing, is sometimes it's maybe not as like crazy or scary, but it's actually so cool to actually just experience it and have those intelligent conversations and stuff. So, yeah.
It would be. It will be, and you know when it's coming because you start feeling cold.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
and that's the thing you can't get through a camera lens is the feeling that you're in. You can never really deliver that across fully to the audience of how it feels when you walk into a room and go, oh man, it feels shit in here. Like sometimes you can't quite get that feeling across.
Yeah.
Mm.
Everyone's had that feeling of it doesn't matter if you're a believer or not, that when you get that cold feeling, you know, something's not right. Something's there. Look, I want to move on to intensity and risk, all right? So what I want to ask is something I'd never do myself is the blindfold. Explain why you do this blindfold and what feeling it gives you. The blindfold, man, like it's just insane. I'm scared the living Christ out of me.
I can assure you it's not a kink thing. It's a legitimate paranormal investigation method.
Yeah.
And I was actually just thinking when I put these headphones on earlier, I was like, it feels really weird to wear these headphones and not have my mask.
Good point.
That's right. Yeah, because you have the earphones on as well when you do it. Shit.
Yeah, it's always the mask and the headphones, and these actually are our ones from our kit. So
yeah, they're the noise cancelling ones too. So they're actually the ones. Yeah.
So what that is about, it's called an Estes method, and it was established well before we came in to do any of this.
Yeah.
Using the Spirit Box device, which is the one that has the little radio thing and goes
sweeps through stations.
Sweeping through stations. And so the idea is that essentially, like, you know how you get pareidolia, where our brains are just programmed to kind of see faces or something in things when they're not really there. There's all sorts of reasons for that. But, you can get the same thing with audio, where you can kind of like hear what you think makes sense or like what you want to hear. So if you're asking questions and then you're listening back, you can interpret that in such a way that it's like, oh, I know, I think I know what that said. But if you're wearing headphones, noise cancelling headphones, all you can hear is that sound, and you're blindfolded so that you have no other visual input. I don't know when somebody's asked a question because I can't see their face. I can't see anything. And then I'm hearing words. There's like no bias then.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, because there was one episode, Jason, you were in a cell in one of the prison cells.
I had a flying feeling this would come up.
You had the radio out of there. I think Beck was the only other one on an episode I've seen had to use you guys pulled her out. You could see that she was not looking too great with it. But yes, Jace, you pulled the old radio out. You had an abandoned ship there.
Yeah, no, I think that is when we look at our channel, like how you were saying, like risk. Yeah. That is probably one of the where we probably took a step over the line of risk of what we should be doing, because that was the Fremantle Roundhouse, and that was the the cell used for what they would class as lunatics. Keep in mind, what they classed as lunatics back then were people with epilepsy as well. It's not like full blown. So, but it was weird because we knew going into that investigation that we were going to do an Estes. Like we already had it on the cards. So when we do pre-planned, like the team gets together for like pre-planning, so beforehand, and we have our Discord where we all talk and share the research, and based on that we kind of write up the things we want to do, and if we're on a timeline, like how we can get the most out of our time and do it once. And
it's always flexible.
It's always flexible, but your investigation might go completely left field, and places you thought were going to be very active aren't, so you go to places that are. But we knew that there's only 4 cells left there at the Roundhouse, so we've got minimal space to work with, so an Estes in there was kind of always on the cards. I think it just happened to be that other people had done an Estes prior to the last time I had, so it was kind of my turn It was my turn to step up and do it, and it just so happened to be the lunatic cell one. But
that was good.
The worst part is I had the walkie to radio out, but I also wasn't holding on to the walkie. When I went in, the walkie was actually on the floor. So I'm blindfolded with it on, and I'm fishing for the walkie. And luckily, I was wearing, like, I had rips in my jeans because I felt the rips in my jeans. So I just literally placed the walkie through the rip in my jeans so I could feel it was there. My saving grace.
That was very good, that one.
Yeah.
From your point of view, though.
From that one onwards, we've gone back to our old method where we always have somebody in the room when someone's doing an Estes. And so then later on, I think you see where Beck is very uncomfortable. As the observer, like, you're literally just there to film, but, like, mostly to observe that person and make sure that they're safe. Because they are so vulnerable with, you know, like, things could literally be flying around the room. Yeah. They wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah.
You've really got to.
So that's why you're in that room with Beck a couple of episodes later, because of that reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We used to do it that way, but then we sort of, for the Roundhouse, we're like, oh, this would be really cool, you know.
Experiment. We'll try it out. See what happens.
We'll try and just leave you in there on your own.
That's
funny.
And because we couldn't quite hear him through the door.
Yeah.
We thought that we'd be able to hear everything he said, but we really couldn't unless we were right there. And then we didn't want to have to stand right there because then, you know, we wanted to be a bit further apart. And
and kudos to Beck as well, because that was her first ever investigation as an Afterlife Party member, and she did the Estes on her first investigation.
She did.
Really?
So kudos to her, because she stepped up to the plate to do it, because she had never done one. And yourself, Star, and me, we'd all done one. Beck hadn't, and Beck was like, I know it's my first one, but, like, I'll give it a go. And, like, credit to her, because first investigation as a member, she did the Estes, so, like, fair play.
Good on her.
It's very, very vulnerable and very, very disorienting.
It looks like you'll be with the pure darkness and silence. Don't like.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially when the other people are asking the questions, and, you know, the person under the Estes is actually responding. It's like they can't hear anything. So there's no way. And once again, it's an experiment for all the reasons you said, but it also takes skepticism off the table as well, because there's no way.
It's a trippy little trick, that one. Not trick, sorry, but trippy little
experiment
that you guys do. You don't do it often as well, I noticed as well. So it's only
all comes down to location, well, and what you're getting through as well. Yeah.
Actually, I noticed that you always do it when it's a small room.
It depends on the locations. If we've got a lot of ground to cover, sometimes because, you know, when you do that, you need all hands on deck for that experiment, because you need obviously people filming both parties. You need kind of everyone to come together. So on locations where you've got to cover more ground, it's unlikely that we're going to do it, just because we need, you know, more people.
It is always good in a small room where you can leave somebody in the room on their own, or you know, or just like me and Beck in the small room kind of thing, and have the people asking questions in a totally different room. But we have done it in bigger areas too, because we did it on stage at the Garrick Theatre. And that is, I did not know how creepy that footage was. I'm there in the middle of the stage on a chair wearing headphones and this, like, cat eye mask.
Yeah. And when she looks at the camera, not knowing where it is, and just kind of goes, and you're just like, no.
The number of times in an Estes when I'm wearing that mask that I look dead into the camera and have no idea, because he's moved from one spot to the other, and I just happen to be looking at him and just be like,
tilt the head, and it's like some horror movie.
I'm trying to listen, and I'm like, and it's creepy as hell.
The horror movie vibes. There was one episode I wanted to touch on. Well, it's actually happened a few episodes. Your battery getting drained. Explain how can they do that? Like, of course, the REM pod. That's what that's for, to get the energy from that. Why are they stealing your battery?
Look, to be honest, we don't know. Like that's kind of what makes it paranormal in that sense. We don't know. I mean, whether the batteries, they could draw power from them potentially. You've seen Vancouver. I'll tell you now, we went through, like, our batteries last between 55 minutes to an hour and 5 minutes on those Sonys. I think we drained 10 of those batteries in 3.5 hours.
Bloody hell.
And we can't explain why. I mean, Vancouver is in a world of its own. Everything that was happening there is just too weird. We can't even explain any of that. That's the only location it's really been, like, that crazy to that extent. But battery drainage has happened before. We've we went through a full battery in 5.5 minutes once.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
So yeah,
it's a really weird one, and like it's one where it's just such a well-known phenomenon. And that's why we put in so much effort to making sure that everything is fully charged, everything that takes like physical batteries, they're fresh Duracell batteries when we walk in. So that, it can't be like, oh, maybe it was almost flat already. Yes. Yeah. So if they get drained, it has to be paranormal. There's no other explanation for it.
We created this massive sheet of pre-investigative stuff beforehand. So we have a number of Sony batteries. We have a number of Panasonic batteries. Every piece of equipment takes a brand new Duracell, and we use Duracells because we tried and tested them. Like, nothing is done by accident, but when something is charged and fully charged, we tick it off the sheet. Like, there is like tick boxes and everything that needs to be done before our cases even leave the room to investigate. So it removes all doubt that we've missed something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think with the batteries, it all comes back to the fact that spirits seem to use like electromagnetic energy somewhere on the spectrum there. That seems to be something that's within sort of the realm that they sort of exist in, that they utilize that in a way that we don't and that we can't. And that's something, I guess, that they can draw from our batteries. Who knows? Really? I guess that's why it's paranormal, isn't it? Because we don't know. We kind of,
is that why you turn your phones off before you start?
Phones off. Phones off. Yeah. I mean, people. It's like when people filming.
I have had that thought before, though. One time when we were going to need our phones, and I was like, "Oh my god, what if they drain our phones and we can't use them?"
They drain your phones.
I mean, phones as well. Like,
can they do it when they're off though? Probably. Who knows?
Yeah,
actually,
we turn ours off because they can manipulate other things. Like our equipment can be manipulated by phones. So when they're on and running,
but they never drain, or we haven't had it happen before anyway, where they'll drain a battery that isn't being used.
Okay, yep.
Like, we have a box, full of fresh batteries that we have there. They don't get drained, only the ones that we're using. So I wonder if it's the fact that there's like energy draw already happening in that battery that makes them able to take energy from it. True. And like, if it's just a battery sitting there on its own, it doesn't. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just looked up and checked my battery just to make sure these guys haven't sent anything through to get my battery now. Now, I want to move on to to respect and boundaries. Respect and boundaries. Now, I watch a lot of your videos, and one thing I've noticed, you're never, ever disrespectful. And that's something I really respect when I watch your videos.
Thank you.
Never disrespectful, ever.
That is one thing we've always set out from day one. Like, to put it this way, like, the places that we're going into to investigate, right? We're going into their environment, right? All people passing through. If I was to come into your house and then just straight out ask you a bunch of really personal questions, jump straight out the gate, or come in and just start moving all the stuff about and, just going all amongst it, doing my own thing, you're gonna be like, oh, what the hell are you doing, kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Same thing with us. Like, we're going into their environment. Like,
correct.
It's why we introduce ourselves, always say our intentions.
Say thank you for having us.
Thank you. And we're a non-judgmental zone out there,
Yep.
Everyone has stories. They're all from different time periods. People had their own things going on, So if there was someone that that was a victim of something bad, then we're here to tell a story. It's like we always say, like, we're here to have a conversation with you, but please note that if you do not want to, that is totally okay. You don't have to. You don't feel forced. We give them a bit of something about who we are and what we're about, because it kind of sets the playing field. It sets intention, you know, what our intent is. And intent goes a long way. Goes a very, very long way. But, yeah, I mean, it's like, if we're told to leave, it's like, can you give us a sign more that you want us to go or do something further so we know that's what you mean? Or sometimes we just reiterate why we're here, and then all of a sudden that conversation stops. So, yeah.
Or we ask them, you know, like, we, by being respectful right from the get-go, I guess it sets us up puts us in a position where hopefully we'll get the same respect back. That means a lot when dealing with the paranormal, with things that you can't necessarily explain or see. So, you know, when you establish that respect early on, it's really helpful. And so puts us in a position too, I think, whereas sometimes, you know, you can have a spirit who's upset and being like get out. Yeah. You know, they just don't want to talk. To kind of be like, hey, that's cool, I get it, you don't have to, but do you mind, like, if anybody else here wants to talk, is it okay if they do? Yes. You know, we're only going to be here for 1 more hour, so, you know, if you can, you know, accommodate us for another hour just to give others the opportunity, that would be really awesome. Most of the time that works really wonders. Well.
Yeah. And I think it's the approach, isn't it, I guess, at the end of the day, like
you're going into their home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like we're the guests. It's their residence, you know. And I think we said it from the get-go. You know, we are not here, and we do not antagonize on our channel. It's just not our forte. It's not our method. You know. No. And I think the results we capture speak for themselves with the method we take. You know, because we had a couple of people that go, oh, you got stuff there, we didn't get anything there. And it's like, well, maybe it's because of our method and the way we conduct our investigations.
You don't say
they're doing it wrong. No, it's never about pushing. Yeah.
No. You're making, not only just, you're making the audience feel welcome watching, but you're making your presence welcome in a good way. It's respectful. That's why I wanted to bring that up. Everything that I've seen with these guys, you've never been disrespectful in any way. So
thanks, because thank you. That actually means a lot to us, because we've based our channel based off of respect and being respectful, and that's not only just to the spirits, but to our locations and to those that, you know, we might investigate a pub. You know, we have people that work there every week that need to go in and go to work and do all that. So it's not about, you know, we're not there to cram up activity, antagonize, and then when we bugger off for the night, they you know, they've got to deal with it. So it's always been our way of everything for this channel has been built off of respect. So the fact that you said that actually really does mean a lot to us.
No, it's good. You don't stir shit up and then leave. Basically, you go in with the right way of looking at it, which I like. Now I was going to move on to extreme experiences. You know I was bringing it up, Jace. You know I was bringing it up. If there is one episode that is an absolute must for anyone that views this, can you talk us through the experience on the staircase? It has to be that episode.
It has to be.
It has to be Vancouver.
The Vancouver.
And don't give it all away, because we want people to watch it. Just
true.
Well, let's put it this way. I can start with this because it's going to pique their interest. There is a part of that investigation that I do not remember at all. There is a section there that's, for me, I was in one place and then I was in another, and I do not know what happened between. And I, unfortunately, had to watch it all back outside on the night. And oh boy, I'm like trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and it was not going.
Did you feel hot or cold? How did you feel? Your eyes looked crazy. It was awesome.
I did not feel a thing.
I love your take. It was awesome. I'm sitting here like, it was terrifying.
Yeah,
but,
you're helping him walk down the stairs, But don't you surely remember when you're outside though?
When I came to outside.
Yeah.
And when I came to there's more that confusion of I like trying to figure out like where have I been, what have I been doing, and I can hear Kat and Beck having a conversation back and forth, and I'm sitting there like I come to and they're talking about eyeballing them on the stairs and stuff like that, and I'm just like okay, cool, and then they're telling me like, you know, asking me questions, and then those two were in their absolute peak ADHD moment because I could not get a word in, but I also couldn't really say much because I had no input. I had nothing to say because I just didn't know.
And you didn't quit for the night. Then you just went into was it the mortuary part or the
wall? Yeah.
You didn't even finish up for the night, man.
Well, it's kind of funny,
dude.
Honestly, in under like that is genuinely crazy. Like under so many other circumstances, you know, we probably would have ended it there. Thankfully, Jason was feeling a lot better. We could tell that he was behaving and just talking like himself normally. Everybody was up for the challenge. The morgue is a little bit away from the main art center.
Yeah, it's like
not
a different building.
far, but like it's separate from the main building, and so we gave it a go because, you know, we're in Albany. We weren't going to have that opportunity again.
And we hadn't investigated the morgue before.
A morgue. So for some reason, we decided to take the risk that day, and it was okay.
Part, you didn't even stay in there for that long either because the respect part.
Yeah,
they didn't really want you there.
I mean, Vancouver is a whole kettle of fish in itself. That place was like a paranormal beacon, and we know it's been investigated before, but we don't know how many times it's been investigated before. We have stories of people doing it, but there is no footage or video of any investigation ever happening at Vancouver Arts Centre, and I think we now know why. Because you don't realize the amount of saving footage that I had to do. We thought we had lost everything. The whole intro, the whole start. Half the footage on the stairs was actually lost, and I got back. I managed to find a video where it's jumping. The audio I managed to save the audio from another type of file, like Saber. I had to merge them back together, but it kept going out of sync because codecs were wrong. Like, that was put together, like, second by second frame job for an extent of that one of those cameras and audios.
It's like, such a big good episode. That's the one that I recommend everyone to watch. As well, if anyone is still watching, hopefully you are, there is a video on Afterlife Party channel where you guys do a video and you rank and tell us which ones to watch first. Which is, I watched that one and that made me go, all right, and then it's kind of stuffed me up because I was like, actually, I should have just watched them all in a row. Because I was lost. I was like, oh shit, what am I up to? But that was good. That was good that you did that as well because it helped us get to the real good stuff.
I'm glad you enjoyed that, actually. Yeah, because that was about a year ago now. It's a bit out of date, but yeah, cool.
No, that was good. That one, that was good information. So those little ones like that are pretty good. Helps you guide to the episodes, which was pretty sweet. And you were straight up about it. You were like, nah, that goes down the bottom. No, I'm not watching that. Yeah. That one goes down the bottom. I was like, okay.
The ones, don't get fooled by the ones with a lot of views. They're not always the best videos. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. So
yeah. Actually, I think you say, that's the first video. No, I'm not in that one. Yeah, that one goes down the bottom.
I hate the Swan View Tunnel video. I edited that. Here's a fun story for you, okay? Yeah. You know the history and the drone shots now at Swan View Tunnel. Mm-hmm. And we talk about the history. Fun fact of how that came to be kind of our shtick for Afterlife Party is we filmed all the mistake and we were like, okay, we then decided to form the Afterlife Party. And we said, we can't put that up first because no one will believe a fucking thing that we're doing because they're just not going to. So we turned back to the old Swan View Tunnel footage that was not filmed for Afterlife Party. And I used about 13 and a half minutes to 15 minutes of that for my Twitch stuff. Okay. And I was like, how in the hell am I going to turn this into an investigation? Right? I was like, we don't have enough. I managed to drag like 17, 18 minutes out of it or something. And I was like, man, it's not enough. So I went back and we did like the drone footage and the talk over the history and the old footage because I needed to extend the video's length to make it worth it. And people's feedback was we absolutely loved it. So just by trying to extend the video ended up becoming something we've done on every investigation on the channel just because we tried getting a little bit more footage.
A bit more.
Yeah.
It's so funny looking back at your first lot of stuff compared to where you are now as well, including myself. I look back at my like first lots of reviews 3 years ago, and I'm like, and I thought it was good, and I'm looking back at it, and I go, I'm not going to delete it, but
if I could give myself a message going back from now to then is, Jason, stop walking around holding the fucking spirit talker, because it uses the phone sensors, doesn't it? So if you're walking around and moving it, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Because if it's using your accelerometer and stuff, like if you're physically moving the phone,
you could be manipulating it.
You're inputting data into it. And I'm like, I can't believe we used to do that because we stopped pretty quickly.
I want to slap myself on the wrist for that one.
As soon as I did a little bit of research into, I got very interested in how all the equipment works. And so once I went down that rabbit hole, I was like, guys, we are not going to be moving spirit talkers while we're using them. EMF meters have to be, if we do use them, it's under these circumstances. They have to be like put down, they're directional. And
well, we have.
All of this stuff.
You've learned as you've gone along.
And now we look back and we cringe sometimes.
Yeah, we cringe. Like, we have the EMF meter in our toolkit, but it is the one thing we use to debunk evidence, not record evidence.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how things change, but yeah.
Nothing can follow you home, can it?
I mean, it can.
It can, but obviously we do our own protection circles before and after. We kind of do them off camera because that's, like we said the word about intent. Like, it's putting that intent out there. It's not saying because we want to be locked in and make sure that what we're doing has that meaning to us.
You need to be very connected to yourself, not being distracted by what you're filming. Really set that intention and to put in place those really hard boundaries with the spirits, because that's how my beliefs work, is that all works through intent and personal boundaries and what I put out there into the world, and that to the spirits.
Opening up communication and closing it down, and when you're closing those that communication off, that intent is set.
So we always put really firm boundaries, like don't follow us home, don't attach ourselves to our things,
hitch a ride.
Communication is closed from here on out. Thanks very much. I'm always very thankful and grateful to the spirits when we do this, but we do all of that, and so far so good.
We've never had anything actually come home. We've never.
Because you're not nasty and you're respectful, like I said. So I think that's a plus.
But everyone has different things. Like one of our team members has crystals, someone else is sage, someone else is this, and it's all like there's no right or wrong for them. It's what that meaning holds for them. Like sage might not work for Kat, but it might work for Beck, and crystals don't work for me, but they work for Stars. So it's like whatever you feel is best for you. We really push that use it.
There's all these debates in the field around but you didn't sage, or but you need to use this crystal for protection, or why aren't you a lot of people will put in the comments you should be wearing a rosary or something, and it's like, if that means nothing to me, it's not going to work for me. Because it doesn't make me feel strong and in control, and like I have, that autonomy, and being I am setting this personal boundary that you may not come home with me, and that's what it's about, I think. And hey, so far it's worked.
So good.
That's a good thing. Let's have some fun for the last couple of things on here. Let's debunk. It's a movie. We do movies on this show, so let's debunk some paranormal activity that made me find you guys in the first place. That I was watching all the movies in a row.
Wait.
Let's debunk a couple of things that happens in these movies. Getting pulled down the stairs by your ankles.
Okay. So, is it possible? It could be, like for all intents and purposes. But I will go into the line between what the film industry has now made the expectation of the paranormal industry, and that with our investigations, we don't use audio cues for jump scares. We keep the silence because what we're giving people is an authentic paranormal investigation. You will possibly sit through 30, 40, maybe an hour and a half of silence, just waiting for one cat ball to go off. That is a realistic investigation and a paranormal experience.
Yeah.
Movies where shit is just flying off shelves, drawers all opening at the same time.
That's the next one.
People being held up, a knife coming off the block and landing on a chopping board, and you're like, that's, can it happen? Possibly. We've had little chirpy bird up here fly off the stocks at the roundhouse and go flying.
Really?
So, really?
Yeah.
Can a knife do it? Yes, a knife could possibly do it. But all drawers and all that opening at the same time, look, it's why it's called paranormal, right? We can't explain things, but it is very, like, movie and film industry to what it's reflecting. And even to some of the Ghost Adventures and TV shows, the expectations of everything being demonic and crazy and this and that. It's like, it has gone so far-fetched now. That's
what when people say, well, you love scary movies and horror movies, because they're not real. They're not real. What you guys are doing is real. Jason ain't coming back, all right? Freddy ain't coming back for your nightmares. This is all... My movie land is not the same. Like, all these drawers and then the fan dropping down and the knife, like you said, that's not happening. Maybe the TV, there was a scene where the TV turned on by itself. That's possible, I suppose.
Yeah,
that is possible.
Well, like, a knife moving is possible, technically. Yeah, it could be.
We had a heater turn on by itself.
We did.
TV turning on its own, definitely possible.
I can understand with electrical equipment, like if a lamp comes on or a light blows up or something like that, but
getting pulled down the stairs though by the ankles, like you said. It's incredibly unlikely.
Happens to us every week.
Happens to us all the time. No, but still.
What's one other thing that they're doing there? They put flour down on the floor for footprints.
Yes. Oh, that's such a weird one. I'll come back to that. But the getting pulled down thing, like, it is genuinely possible. Like, we have been in places where we've been pushed. And and I'm not going to lie, being somebody, who's watched too many horror movies, those things still come to you when you're investigating. It's like you'd be standing at the top of the staircase or something like that and just be like, I don't want to get pulled down the stairs.
That happened to me. I was standing on the stairs and I felt a hand on my shoulders and I was like, I don't think I should be standing here.
Yeah, you moved away from the top of the stairs because you felt somebody touch you and you were just like, I don't want to get pushed down the stairs.
I like that episode. I've seen that where you're standing in the middle of the stairs and you're like, I can feel hands on my shoulders, and you're like, I'm out.
And Beck's just like, get your ass down here.
Yeah.
That's Eden's
one where Beck is literally hugging a pole.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to get pushed down the stairs, so I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna keep communicating, but I'm just gonna hug this pole.
That's exactly the one. Yeah, that's exactly the one, yeah.
All right. So what is your favorite scary movies? What's your favorite horror movie? You both must have a favorite horror movie.
This is actually very, very difficult. This is very, very difficult for me.
There's so many good ones. Mine personally is Exorcist. Wow.
See, right? I agree with you so much. When people ask me what is my favorite comedy film, I always say The Exorcist. But it's so well and true. Like, it's fantastic. Obviously, seeing horror films now, they just can't go back to kind of like your 70s and 80s
Yes.
kind of horror slasher films, because they are always going to take the cake for me.
Oh yeah.
But then, you know, we could be stepping away from horror and going more on the gore side. And I really like the psychological horror gore.
Yep.
I thought when the initial Saw franchise came out, I thought it was very, very creative.
Yep.
And I liked the way it all kind of tied in. They did have a couple of bad ones, like Saw 3D or 7. It was just like, it did not feel the same as the others.
The story still continued, though.
Still continued and had a really good swerve at the end, but the blood and graphics they did for 3D, so it didn't look right. But the creative side to some of those traps, I mean, you have to come up with them is insane.
It's like you have to be a psychopath yourself to actually come up with some of those things. I'm like, who the hell thought of this?
I think
that. Like, are they should be institutionalized. I'm sorry.
The very first one I found, and Mum and Dad were watching it, and I was very young, and I caught them out watching The Sixth Sense, right? Yep. And I was hiding behind the couch just watching it because I was awake, and they caught me and they were like, if you're going to watch it, you're going to sit here and watch it because you're not going to like this. By the end of it, Mum had all the pillows covering her face, and I was like, at the screen, I was like so happy watching it. So like for me, The Sixth Sense, although it's not your typical horror, that for me found horror films. And I was like 10, 11 or something like that. And I found that, and then it was What Lies Beneath was the next kind of thriller I saw, and that kind of led in. But yeah, I mean, for creativity, I love the Saw franchises, but I can't go past the 80s slasher films. I mean, Freddy's my man. Freddy's my man. Yeah.
I love watching horror movies, but I'm really bad at remembering movies. So, although that said, I do have, like, I love good, like, psychological thrillers or supernatural horror. Like, that's kind of my thing. And just one movie, although it may not have been, like, my favorite, but probably a movie that had an impact on me when it comes to a horror movie was Mirrors.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
A very long time ago now that came out. And I have not watched it since. I saw it as a teenager, but I still to this day get freaked out in bathrooms because of mirrors. I think it is. Like, I just have this thing. I remember watching that movie and having to walk down my hallway to get to the toilet. We had one of those full-length mirrors at the end of the hallway, and just being like, I can't do this. Like, I can't go to the toilet. I had to get somebody to go and turn the mirror around to go there. and like, once you watch a lot of stuff, you don't really get scared by it as much, but I love things that have, like, a new idea, something original.
Yes. And that had a brilliant ending as well.
Yeah, it did, actually. It was really good. And,
don't watch the sequel.
Oh, I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, there's a Mirrors too. Don't watch Mirrors too.
All right, I won't. Is that because it's bad and disappointing?
It's not that good, no.
Cool.
Here's a fun fact. I actually know someone that was in the Human Centipede franchise.
Oh, no, don't go there. Don't go there. Has anyone ever said that that's their favourite movie?
No one's ever said it's their favourite movie, but it was very
Acquired taste.
It was I like the first two. I don't mind them, but very clever, whoever came up with the first one, because that was just smart on their part. Even though it was sick and it wasn't a great movie, it was just.
But why are people going to watch it? Because it's sick.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, what? They're going to get they're a human. Their mouths are to wet. I'm gonna hire this out.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, where you kind of watch it with that thing of like. It's almost like you tell somebody you don't want to see this. It's really disturbing. The first thing they go and do is be like, no, I'm going to go watch it now.
You tell someone it's sick and twisted, they're going.
With that one, I'm just like, that is probably the movie that actually taught me the lesson not to fall for that. If somebody says, don't watch this, you will regret it. I actually hate that warning ever since The Human Centipede.
There's a few French and Italian movies that my mates have sent me on Blu-ray. Holy shit!
Like Teeth as well. Teeth.
Yeah, I've got Teeth. I got teeth, but that's
Oh, boy.
that's crazy. This is the question now that you have to agree on. You have to agree on, all right? So let's have some fun. If you could only pick one of the two, and you have to stay overnight and be locked in, are you going to pick? There's your two choices: the real Amityville house or Alcatraz. Only pick one.
Oh.
Alcatraz. Because isn't there some theories about some of the Amityville house not being so true?
Oh,
I've heard
it's true.
stories.
Amityville's true.
I reckon it is true, but do you know what? Like, Alcatraz would be a whole different vibe.
I'm
You did a lot.
curious. I'm so drawn into the Amityville thing, but I'm
Same.
also I'm so drawn in. I'm like invested, but at the same time, I do know along the same lines that there's been some stuff come out about a lot of, especially a lot to do with the Warrens and that it's, you know, a lot of stuff that they were involved in not being fully as it's made out to be.
Yeah.
And so I reckon for a guaranteed experience, it would have to be Alcatraz.
And the reason I say Alcatraz is this, right? Alcatraz isn't known for a paranormal hotbed, essentially, as like possessions and this and that's, right? But with the stories of locations that have possessions and this and that's, they're sometimes twisted and manipulated.
Yeah.
So you're never going to get the full truth, so to speak. But with Alcatraz, you're never going to meet that expectation. With Alcatraz, you kind of know you're going to Alcatraz, and that slate is whatever you get is going to be what you get. And there is a lot of historical fact with Alcatraz as well.
Following what we do on our channel, Alcatraz makes sense. Because we don't seek out the places that are known to be the most haunted or the most paranormally active or the most, like, you know, fucked up places. We chase the history. Where there's history, there's often attachments. Because, you know, if it's that historical, that old and that significant that it's still standing and has been heritage listed and people write about it and there's a lot of documentation, then often the people involved with those places, you know, they had their lives were very meaningful to them. They had a lot of significant, like, milestones and things that were really important. So they're attached there. Their energy sort of stays there. Or they're attached because, you know, the history is dark history and they're trapped there or they're stuck there for whatever reason because something's unresolved. And so if we go by that logic that we always go for historical places because that's where the spirits tend to be, whether they're documented or not, Alcatraz, hands down, would have to be. Yeah.
It'd be very freaky. Would you do Jace, would you do the blindfold in there?
Probably.
In the cell? No one in the cell with you? No radio as well to call out?
See, yes, I would say yes, but it comes down to
no.
It comes down to
him doing it.
It comes down to what we have prior leading up to that point.
It does.
You know what I mean? Because that's the big thing of why we never lead into an Estes like first up is because the grandma. I've got one for you then, Rob.
Oh yeah.
Would you rather investigate at the Vancouver Arts Centre at the top of the stairs, or would you rather do the Estes method in the Fremantle Roundhouse in that cell by yourself?
Oh man, I couldn't do the blindfold. I couldn't do. I don't think I could do the blindfold. I really couldn't. I don't like the not being able to hear and not being able to see feeling at top of the stairs. That's not blindfolded though, is it?
No. But it is horrible. It is horrible.
You give me two of the worst ones there. I'd have to choose top of the stairs. I think I'm already possessed as it is, so let's go top of the stairs.
You might be okay. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But then again, I couldn't do the blindfold, but at least it's closer to home.
So at least at the top of the stairs, you might not remember it afterwards.
Yeah,
I don't like either of them. I'll go top of the stairs. That's nasty. That's a nasty one. You weren't supposed to put two on me. All right, then. I didn't plan on asking it, but I'll be honest. I get goosebumps in parts of watching your videos, and I don't scare easy. Those two questions did, making me choose out of that. That's what made me go. I don't like those two situations, but I'm very intrigued. So if you guys ever want to scare the unscarable, I want to see this live, just the once. Okay. One trip with you guys, not at the top of the stairs maybe, and not blindfolded in a cell, but I would like to one day, just the once, witness this and let everyone know the experience of a horror movie fan that doesn't get scared, even though you kind of scared me about blindfold.
So you want to do the Estes method? We can bring you along for an Estes method.
Yeah, that's the thing, mate. Like, if you're going to come on an investigation, you have to be up for all the experiences.
Yeah.
True. I just need the thing. I just want to hear the bell.
Pick and choose. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. Pick and choose.
The bell is cool. That said, though, if anybody listening at the moment is interested in joining us for an investigation experience, keep an eye out on our Facebook, because we do have plans this year. Nothing's been announced yet, but last year we did do a couple of paranormal investigation experiences at the Albany convict jail,
where people could come and join us.
Could come along and join us. And we ran those very similar to the way that we run our investigations. And there were some really awesome experiences. So there might be some opportunities coming this year.
We even stunned someone from the Historical Society, and we managed to get something across the line with proof from the Afterlife that actually had historical, like on the point of its actual history of the location through devices, and she was stunned. She was like, there is no way. And we're like, we can't control what comes out of these. So she was shocked. So not only do we take them on an experience, but to shock an actual Historical Society member who was there with how on point it was, like, it's the real deal out there. What we take them on, the experience is the real deal. Yeah.
It's not a ghost tour.
It's not a ghost tour. No. It's an investigation.
It's a paranormal investigation experience. So
investigation. Actually, talking about the spin out thing that would spin people out in some of the historical places, before we finish it up, there was this one episode where, Jason, you're standing under where a noose is, right? And the spirit talker says a name. And you're like, okay, they're saying their name. Then Kat finds in that room later on a picture of that person's with the name in it, and had all his medals and all that. That type of stuff, that's what I love. That's wicked.
That's exactly the same location, the Albany Comedy Jail, that we took them on the experience.
Yeah,
really? Same location.
That's where we took people.
That's where we took people. They actually got to do that same experiment under the noose. We took them to do it.
Yeah.
Everett did not come through again, though. Not at that location.
It has come through again in Albany.
Come through again in Albany, but not at that location.
Really?
It came through on another investigation.
Yeah.
And it says, "Have we spoken before?" And it said yes.
We did manage to. Yeah, we did manage to uncover over the course of, like, when we first went to the Albany convict jail, and then doing, like, the few paranormal investigation experiences that we did with people through those events, which aren't filmed because we focus on giving people the experience, not on filming for our channel. Unfortunately for our evidence, are not filmed. So we did manage to uncover, though, one of the stories that goes around about somebody who was held at the convict jail, a young woman. I won't get too sidetracked by the story, but
you can watch it on the video.
Yeah, watch the video.
Stories on the video.
The stories on the video. There's a couple of things, though, about what her name was. It was never documented properly. Was it Emily or Amy? Different stories online say different things. These names have come from psychics or from different
journals and
journals and stuff. And there's not really been an agreement on it. We consistently spoke with a girl named Amelia, which is kind of right between Amy and Emily, coincidentally. So I think that, and like with all of the communication that we were getting through, I think that through those nights, we actually managed to uncover what that person's name really is,
So
and
good.
actually communication with
And
them.
no one
at the
has
jail.
ever known it properly.
No one's ever known it properly.
And we were
So
able to
good.
give that to the Historical Society as well, which is an insane, cool thing that we've done. Like there's a video coming out within
It's
the
so
next
rewarding.
Yeah, there's a video coming out in the next 6 to 8 weeks about a story that has been going for years upon years. And when I'm talking about years, I mean we're talking over 200 years. It was even filmed, even put into like a small book about a theory of something that had happened, and a story connecting someone to a location through an item. And we picked up on something that may actually prove like over 200 year story to be correct. And it's like when you can hand that to your locations and go, hey, by the way, it's like, not only is it incredible that we capture that stuff, but for our locations, it only just helps them and further proves for them. Like, that's not just a story. It's actually documented proof now. We've caught something that backs up those claims. So we've had a couple of times that has really happened, and this year we've got a fair few of them coming up, and yeah, it's crazy.
That's so good. I love it, guys. Everything that you do and all your episodes on the channels is so good. I had one day when I was off and I was binging the shit out of them. Freaking, and we know some of them go for an hour and a half or whatever. So yeah, you get through about 4 of them, and I'm like, oh shit, it's that time already. And you're like,
yeah,
okay.
Thanks, man. No, we certainly put a lot of work into it. That's for sure.
And you can tell from when you've started to the way you've put them together now and all that. Really do appreciate as well the history that you say at the start of the episodes as well. Very good. Very, very well put out, and teaching everyone before the episode starts about Albany. Like, we all know it because we live in Western Australia. But, just say you went to Kalgoorlie, you would do the history of Kalgoorlie. If you went to Esperance, you'd do Esperance. You know what I mean? It's good for everyone in the other parts of the world to learn the history of our WA, which is awesome as well. So you do a good job there, man.
The history is what makes it interesting. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of jump scares, isn't it? It's like it connects you to the place and gets people invested. So that's what we hope anyway.
Yeah,
so thanks for that.
I mean, yeah. It's honestly, we are passionate about what we do, and I'm sure that speaks for itself anyway. Oh, but no, the history side and sharing that knowledge. I mean, it's also giving back to our locations. Yep. For them, it's I don't know, we don't have to, but we choose to. Yes, it gets people invested, but it's for our locations as well. It showcases them. It's important to them as well. And the main thing is, like, we need to get it right, because sometimes with locations, there's so much misinformation that is put out there with locations that they documented this, and this. Yep. Like one we've been to recently, it was put out by a channel that was very much not correct. So when we went to the location, we actually spoke to them and said, I want to know if all these facts and all these things happened here.
Yep.
And there were ones I had that I couldn't find history of actually documenting that. And he actually said, the guy at the location said, you're right, that wasn't done here. And I said, well, I found it on this video and that's wrong. And it's like, so like I always say, investigating is like, the investigation itself is a very small chunk of what we do.
Yep.
There is so much more than just investigating. That's about 10%. Yeah. And that's the important thing.
Yeah.
If you don't get your history and facts right, you're going to get destroyed by the people watching.
Well, what would we be doing? Like, we'd be, exactly. It's like, can you imagine us going, oh, here's our history about this location, and it's completely fucking wrong. Well, we look like idiots, don't we?
Exactly. This is Tarantino's new film, Jaws 3. He didn't do Jaws 3. Who gave you that information?
Yeah. So it's so important as well, and our locations, they feel it as well.
Yeah.
They've been subjects to having misinformation spread on some occasions, and that sucks. It can be
hard enough trying to convince a historical society to let you do a paranormal investigation at a heritage building, let alone if you get the history wrong.
Yeah, I
not a
know.
good
Yeah.
Yeah.
Historical societies really don't like that, and they are often the people that we need to approach.
Yeah, but we have great rapport with all our locations, and
We
that,
do,
and
yeah,
we've
yeah.
been invited
Got good
back on many
relationships.
occasions, which means we're doing something right.
Exactly.
We do, yeah. So,
And you want people to visit those locations during the day,
we do.
but
in
visit
fact,
them.
Yes,
we
during
also
the
want,
day, not
During the
without
day.
permission.
yeah, with like investigating in the evenings and stuff like that, and doing what we do at investigations. We would love teams to go out and do investigations at the location we've been. So it's important for us to leave the location in the way we found it for other teams to come back, and it only further proves our evidence.
Yes.
We want more teams going there to see if they pick up on the same things we do, but it's always about getting the right permissions to do so. And that's the
Exactly.
important thing.
Exactly, and that's what I appreciate. I appreciate all your videos, guys. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you having respect for everywhere you go and getting permission for every single place that you attend. That is a public, not a public place, an owned historical
Known building, or,
known building
location.
that is owned by someone, location, which is good. So respect all that. So thank you so much, guys, for coming on.
No worries, man.
All your stuff I'll put in the description, and click on Afterlife Party's channel. I'll put the Instagram on there. I'll put a video on there, so you can click straight on that one as well. Go on there and subscribe, have a watch, and you won't be disappointed. It is fun. I love it. And you'll learn about our WA as well at the start of videos.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for coming on. Really appreciate it, guys.
No, thanks, man. Thanks
Thanks
for
so
having
much
us.
for having
And,
us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. Subscribe to them, subscribe to me, and we'll see you next time. This was something a little bit different. Say hi to your mum for me.